All right, you guys ready? You guys ready to do this? I'll put your purse on the table. No, that's okay. I don't know. I might not sit ever, but who knows? All right, you guys ready? Let's start with breathing. So let's get our feet kind of planted on the ground, flat, our knees slightly bent, and our hands over our belly so that we can feel when we inhale the diaphragm going down into our belly, pushing our belly out, and then exhale, pulling in the belly a little to get rid of the exhale. Inhale, exhale. Just maybe notice how in our day to day, throughout the day, we probably tend to breathe pretty shallowly. And notice just this deeper breathing, getting the belly involved. Let your rib cage expand. Feel it in your lower back, your upper back. All right. Now let's do a little spinal cord breathing too. Inhale, like you're doing a pull-up. Exhale. We're doing invisible pull-ups, right? Let's see how many we can get. I can't do a real one, but I can do an invisible one. Taking our time. Big inhales. All the way out. More. There's more in there. Get rid of that old breath and open up some new, fresh breath. All right. Let that go. Feel like shaking it out a little bit. I always feel good. Let's do a little Buddha holds up the heaven into a side stretch. So on this one, again, feet are flat, knees slightly bent. Everything, all the joints are usually just slightly bent. We're not ever locked out in Tai Chi or Qigong. So round arms. And on the inhale, rotate your palms from facing up to facing your lungs, facing away from you, and then up to the ceiling on the inhale. And then exhale, rotate, palms face your lungs when it's going by, and down. And then inhale, up, down. On this next inhale, when you're going up, see if you can breathe more with your hands up and deep breath. Inhale. Next one, leave the right hand up, take the left hand down on the exhale, and then inhale, lean to your left, and inhale. Exhale, come to the middle. We change hands. Now the left hand's up, right hand's down. Inhale to the side. Getting some of that breath into our side ribs. Inhale. The intercostal muscles in between your ribs can get stiff. So doing these side bends and breathing, we're helping to hydrate those muscles, help them loosen up. And then when they are less stiff, your rib cage can expand more and you can take in more breath. Breath is chi. Breath is energy. We can't go very long without breath. We can't live for very long. All right. Then let's do a little front back, a little twist. On this one, you're kind of like wringing out your body like it's a dirty dish rag. Inhale to the middle. Exhale on the twist. Inhale. Exhale. With your breath, slow it down. And we'll come back into the middle. Shake it out a little bit. All right. Now this one, we're a little tight in here, so maybe just double check. Like just feel can you let your arms swing without hitting the tables or a chair? Okay, now we're going to knock on the door of life. So take a nice breath. Just letting the arms, using the momentum of twisting your waist so that your arms kind of just go out, come in. Just again, a reminder, if anything, I suggest maybe oh, I have an injury, my shoulder hurts there. When I try it, it hurts. Then just back off, do something smaller. You can always sit down if you need to. And just breathe is 100% great practice for the whole time. If all you're doing is sitting here watching us and breathing, that's great. Taking those nice deep breaths is one of the main points. And then we're going to come up to the chest, to the lung point. Right at the end of our collarbones where our shoulder muscle starts to bulge. All those fake pull-ups we do. And then we're going to do our traps up on top. Flat hand. Area where we tend to hold a lot of tension, so just flat hand and let it come off. Back to the chest. Back to the waist. And now just let your arms just feel the air. Just feel this one. Just kind of slowing it down. Back to the middle. Take a breath and feel your body. Maybe you feel some tingling in your hands. That's when you free up tension. That's just kind of energy that's been blocked up in a certain area. So when you free it up, it starts flowing in your body. So you might feel tingling, and that's exactly like you want. Like when your foot falls asleep and the blood starts coming back in, you feel that tingling. So just take a minute to check in with your body. We don't often do this throughout the day. How am I feeling now? Just a few breaths, a few knocks, and Maybe you've had a huge change in how you're feeling, what you're thinking. Okay. Let's do some balancing. Let's do some kicks. You know what? Let's warm up our hips first. Let's do that first. So let's do tiger sits in the grass. So we'll, we're just going to be squatting basically. So you can do a very little squat. And if that feels a lot to you, then that's perfect. Or you can go a little lower. And then we inhale up the middle. Then exhale kind of down the middle like it is like a horse running or a tiger running. If you ever slow it down, you'll see it's just wherever is comfortable to you. We're just warming up the hips, warming up our ankle joints, knees. Inhale up, exhale down. Okay, last one. All right. Let's do a little move the body like a river too. That's always good. So you do a wide stance and you shift the weight back and forth and then you let your torso follow. Shift the weight, then the torso follows. And you can use a little like rotate the shoulder onto the back as you go to one side. Maybe let your ear touch your shoulder, get a little neck stretch. We're kind of massaging the sides of the spine. You want to try hinging over a bit. See how that feels. And then we'll stop in the middle, point our toes forward and do a forward fold. Just relax your torso instead of pushing yourself to reach some kind of goal you have in your mind. Just relax your torso and let gravity pull you down to the perfect stretch for yourself. Relax your neck, relax between your shoulder blades. Maybe bend your knees and straighten them, kind of play with it. That feels good. And we're going to slowly roll up. You bend your knees. You can put your hands on your thighs. Tilt your pelvis so it's straight. And then let your spine just go boop, 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 boop. That's what your spine makes, the noise. All right. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Let's try the kick. Okay, so again, we're just going to be practicing kind of standing on one foot. And we do it really slowly because it's harder. Because if we could go like this and like that's pretending, right? So anyway, we're going to take it slowly. So we put your weight in your right leg and you take your hands up and out. And you can keep your heel on the ground. And then when you put your foot on the ground, you roll toe to heel. So now put your weight in your left side. Kind of come up on the toe on your right foot. And then if you want to try, you just lead with your heel. Come back in, toe to heel. And we're just going to go from side to side. So inhale, maybe knees up. And you can do lower You can hold on to a chair. Remember to breathe. Inhale, exhale out. Inhale, exhale out. Inhale. 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 Okay, last two. Oops. Inhale. Okay. You guys would look like the same, like you were both like. It's like you're on a boat, right? With like. All right, good job. Let's shake it out. So inhale through the nose and exhale, kind of like you're holding a baby, bouncing it. Bounce and let the bounce come up into your arms. Let your wrists bounce, your elbows. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We'll do the organ sounds to kind of help harmonize our organ systems so they work well together and help each other out. So we'll take a big inhale, and the first sound will be for the lungs. Do it again. Inhale. Next is kidneys is chew. 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 Next is liver is Next is heart is ha. Ha, 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 ha. Next is spleen, like fogging a window. Last triple warmers, he. Okay, check. Just notice how your body feels. And it's okay. Maybe you don't feel a lot right now because we're really not used to checking in. So just be open. Open to feeling what's happening in your body. Now that the first part, we spend a lot of time kind of helping to release tension and wring it out. Now we'll try to move with that kind of flow feeling, with like relaxation, kind of trying to let your body move you instead of moving your body. And that's a hard thing, again, not something we're very used to in our culture. So the first move is called Open the Flow, and it's very wave-like. You inhale to just about till your shoulders, your hands get to your shoulders, your elbows are heavy and bent. And then you kind of can bring it a little closer to you and then let them float down. Inhale up, just about to your shoulder. Exhale down. Move with a nice slow breath. Inhale. Exhale. Relax your hands, relax your wrists. You can imagine maybe being in a pool and the water's filling up and then the water's going out and your hands are just rising and falling with the water. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, well, embrace the chi ball. So that's just like our energy center is in our lower dantian, and kind of feel like there's this energy ball a little bit in front of your body. And you just use your hands to kind of push it together, and then that kind of causes it to push your hands out. Just feel that kind of energy between your hands, even though it's quote unquote empty space. Maybe notice it feels denser as your hands get closer and gets less dense as farther away. Let's do Lao Tzu strokes his beard. So imagine, one of those old sages with the big long beard. We're going to follow what they call the microcosmic orbit. So the energy is kind of going through our body like this, like a water wheel. It's kind of down in the lower dantian, that wheel. And like you can imagine like a little ball of light just traveling up your tailbone, up your spine, into your head, and down the front. And when it goes down the front, if you try to remember, put the tip of the tongue on the roof of your mouth while we do this. So it's like a circle. And so our hands are just kind of help us focus our mind. So on that light. So we'll start, our fingertips point towards our spine. Imagine the light with your hands coming up your spine. Then you take your pointer fingers up. So now imagine the light comes into your brain, comes forward into your brain. And this is kind of the strokes the beard part, okay? And then you just bring it out and around like a circle. And then inhale. Trace your spine with your fingers. Point up. Push it forward and down. Nice and slow. Nice, relaxed breathing. Wave in your spine. Help the energy go up. There's not a pump down there. Help it by waving your spine. Just enjoy the feeling. Do one more. Embrace the chi ball. It's a good time again. Check in with your body. Let's do tigress gathers or cubs. So this one kind of shows you the kind of three main areas: the lower dantian, middle dantian, and upper dantian. So we'll keep your right hand by your belly button. Your left hand, tigress gathers or cubs, like the back of the palms coming, back of the hands coming across your body. And kind of when you get over to the side, inhale and pull it in. Pull those cubs into your lower dantian. Now switch hands. Back of the hand around and across and pull it in. The lower dantian is kind of where we can feel grounded, connecting to our authentic self, open-minded. When you're connected and rooted, you can be open-minded. You don't need everybody to agree with you. You can just be your own self and let them be their own selves. So bring that quality into your belly, that open-mindedness, the groundedness, the best qualities of your higher self, and the area where we're all connected, where our life started. Everybody's life started here. Now we'll come up to the middle dantian, to the heart center. This is where we can learn to find our joy. Come up here. What makes us happy? What do we enjoy doing? What fills us with love? Maybe if you can bring to your mind's eye something that really just, when that's around, like my dog, I just filled with love. Bring something like that you have for yourself into your heart. Let that fire up your heart. Then we'll come up to the upper dantian. Maybe we can connect to the spiritual guidance, whatever that is for you. Feel like, you're connected. That spiritual guidance maybe lines up with what you feel joy and what makes you unique. You can try to connect all three. Help your mind kind of focus on the things it wants to create instead of focusing on the negative things. And come back to the heart. Again, connect. Wisdom of the universe to the things that bring you joy. And back down to our rootedness, to our source, to our life force energy, so that we have energy to do the things we love. And then we'll embrace the chi ball again. Nice deep breathing, checking in with your body. And we'll bring our feet closer together, A little bit of centering. Put your left hand under your belly button, right hand out to the side. Inhale. Exhale down the middle. Storing any extra energy that we were able to cultivate into our lower dantian. So again, that we are energized. We have enough energy to do the things we love and care about. Enough energy to help our friends and neighbors. Since our cup is full, we now have energy to help others. And we'll just interlock our thumbs together, put it over our belly button, and rock and sway. We let our body rock and sway, again, feeling rooted in the feet, relaxing and letting the energy, kind of like there's a river inside of us, and it's just moving our bodies, pushing against the boundaries. And come back to the center. Thank you so much for coming. Yay. All right.